China has identified the cause of the mysterious new virus.
Coronavirus.
There are fears a rapidly spreading virus has reached Australia.
This is a rapidly emerging situation where there is not a cause for alarm.
The first US case has been detected. There's confirmation the coronavirus has reached Australia.
China is urging its citizens not to travel abroad as it struggles to contain the virus.
We will be standing up Christmas Island as a quarantine area.
Foreign nationals coming from China are now banned from entering the country.
I have today declared that the coronavirus presents a public health emergency in the United States.
Kerajaan memandang serius situasi semasa ancaman virus berbahaya ini, terutamanya perkembangan gelombang yang kedua. Kerajaan memutuskan untuk melaksanakan perintah kawalan pergerakan mulai 18 Mac 2020 iaitu lusa hingga 31 Mac 2020 di seluruh negara.
Hundreds of inmates set fire to a Thai prison after 2 days of rioting. The agitated prisoners demanded better medical care due to a coronavirus outbreak.
The Australians are seemingly angry over the strict lockdown restrictions. Melbourne, Brisbane and Sydney are witnessing anti-lockdown protests. These dramatic visuals show people clashing with the police.
Coronavirus novel has left the world stunned since its introduction of the outbreak. Essentially, this pandemic on the surface only focused upon the health crisis and issues that it will bring to humankind. However, this pandemic not only caused health issues, but it's also affect to the global peace as connected by the United Nations. Welcome back to Late Night Education, and today we will have a special guest to talk on the topic of the role of measure to promote international peace during COVID-19 pandemic. On the platform today, we have the Minister of Health, Ms. Khairil Jamaluddin, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ms. Safiyah Abdullah, and the Minister of Defense, Ms. Hashimah Tun Hussein. I really appreciate the time that you guys are able to give for this short discussion. So, what is Malaysia's roles in promoting peace?
I think when talking about the role that Malaysia has played in promoting international peace, we need to go back further to the year 2020 where Malaysia, have been one of the prominent examples for other countries such as Indonesia to manage the pandemic. As the pandemic also causes security concerns, through guarding the safety of the nation, Malaysia have been projecting to the world that peace can be found and created as well as sustained even if a pandemic is ongoing. Firstly, Malaysia's security remained unharmed through the efforts of the government which enforced a travel ban to avoid being the source of dissemination of the virus to other countries as well as for our nation to not be affected by it. This way, it unconsciously promotes international peace as no one would blame each other if any problems were to arise. Other than that, our government has also implemented the movement control order to create a secured environment. This method has been profoundly effective as it was able to produce a result of reduction of the active COVID-19 cases whereby the recovering individuals are greater than the new COVID cases recorded. Hence, it has retained Malaysians' composure as they feel safe with the government trying to protect them, therefore creating an example of peaceful surroundings that can be followed by other nations.
Thank you, moderator. During the pandemic, actually Malaysia has accepted many vaccines from other countries across the world. For example, Sinovac's COVID-19 vaccine was brought from China, and other vaccines like AZIZAN and FAIZ was brought also from other countries. So, not forgot to mention that Saudi Arabia at least donate 1 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccines to Malaysia so they can use it to inject it freely for the use of Malaysia. During that moment, actually, all countries, including Malaysia, are trying to contain the spreading of disease not only in national level but also internationally. So due to that, it can strengthen the diplomatic relationship between countries by nurturing togetherness to prevent the COVID-19 disease from spreading. During that moment, also, it can see that diplomacy is very important nowadays in international peace. It is also one of the most important keys of keeping the peace between countries. Through diplomacy, one country can assure a good relationship politically, economically, and socially. So the donation of vaccines can help to assure the diplomacy between each other. And it is very important to keep it stable between entire country across the world. That's all from me.
So, in my opinion, Malaysia, despite being affected by the COVID-19, still tried its best to help other countries. This shows that Malaysia is concerned about the international peace that could be severely damaged because of the COVID. During that time, Malaysia actively helped the country that is needed. For example, the Malaysian government handed over related medical equipment and supplies in the fight against COVID-19 epidemic to the Indonesian government. Other than that, during the time when China is actively facing the spread of the COVID-19 virus in Wuhan, assistance has been channeled by Malaysian government as well as non-governmental organisations. Because of this, the relationship between China and Malaysia became stronger. In addition, Malaysia also did not forget to provide humanitarian support as they carried out mission to Afghanistan following the escalating humanitarian crisis in the country. The Malaysian government also provides assistance to Palestine in the form of medical supplies, and they also donate for Palestine for reconstruction of the Arima Clinic, which is the place of the COVID-19 testing laboratory that has been destroyed by Israel. On the other hand, the closeness of Malaysia's foreign relations with many countries has made it easier for the country to receive assistance in the fight against COVID. As mentioned before, Malaysia has given help to China in the beginning, and in return, by the time COVID-19 hit Malaysia, China sent equipment such as face masks, ventilators, test kits and sanitizer to help the Malaysian government curb the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Malaysia also received medical equipment donated by the government of Saudi Arabia through the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center and also from US Embassy in Kuala Lumpur. Thus, this shows that Malaysia is actively promoting the international peace by showing the world the good example of the importance of helping and being helped.
So it can be said that Malaysia played a role in promoting international peace by being a benchmark on how to handle pandemic and showing the good example in terms of the relationship with other countries that lead to peace being established as the security of the nation is guaranteed. Interesting. This discourse of COVID-19 is not complete if international relation is not mentioned. So as this is a global issue, what are the relationship between the role Malaysia had played with the Islamic framework of international relation? So in briefly, the framework has four basic principles. The first is Tawhid. Tawhid is very important as the main pillar of the Islamic vision. We must emphasize that religion is the basis of society in our life. In order to preserve the capital of the word, human beings, glorified beings, should do good, act and live evil or lust by following the commandment of Allah. This action supposedly represent the devotion of the servant to the one. At the same time, non-Muslim will have the opportunity to stare at all the clear signs to choose their belief. No Christians will be involved because Islam is full of tolerance. They are free to choose their path as well as religion ritual, which can be practiced anywhere and at any time based on its choice. Second is justice. Justice is another vital element to achieving peace and happiness in all human dealing. Justice set out to put stipulated matter in its place. In Islam, Muslims must be responsible for their decision. Thus, before deciding, we need to think carefully, view rationally based on valid proof, and consider the available facts. We believe that life is a test to achieve its purpose, in which we probably face a lot of quizzes and choice. Next, principal Islamic framework also highlight peace and cooperation. Muslims are brother of each other. Ummah drive forward together and give out all struggle to maintain the world from any destruction and bloodshed. They will possibly have a conflict when debating and give an opinion, but still it will not make them easily separate from one another. Instead, they reach an agreement. And the last principle is jihad. To correct, jihad is not only concentrating on the war between Muslim and non-Muslim, but jihad is truly an active spirit to achieve our commitment till the end of life, especially entire fighting with our last. It is an important ingredient to be compatible with the guidelines. Adding a piece of respect to the framework will complete the outliners. There's no term for double standard because humans are the same, considered equally without any favor of color, race, or language. Human beings are treated individually and collectively, whereby sense of objective lies there.
So, as mentioned before, Malaysia has received many donations from different countries across the world without looking at their background as a non-Muslim or Muslim country. This is because the government of Malaysia believes that every words and action of theirs are worth to stop the spreading of COVID-19. Later, the administration of Malaysia treated the public of Malaysia equally because they give the vaccines to all without discrimination against the poor or even from races and ethnicity. This explains the terms of Pact Islamica because it can establish peace and avoid chaos from happening for the good of all mankind. The term also highlighted that humankind is supposed to be treated equally. Therefore, there are no groups excluded from being able to receive the vaccines. Apart from that, humans are supposed to believe in the oneness of Allah. They cannot only leave everything to the vaccine that made by the human. Human, especially Muslim, supposed to pray to Allah so he can slowly remove the disease from the earth. Humans supposed to depend on Allah in every situation because Allah has the power to cure everything. At the same time, humans are also supposed to show their efforts to decrease the spreading of the COVID-19 by accept the vaccine, being 1 meter apart, and so on. Besides, many lives were taken even though they already took the vaccines. It shows that everything depends on Allah. So as a human, we should really depend on Him and take the chance to repent to Him. Therefore, every Muslim should take their chance to strengthen their relationship with Allah by follow all of His commandments and try to become a better Muslim in the future. That's all from me. I will pass to the next panel.
So from my view, we can see that during this time, everyone is fighting to stop the spread of this disease without distinguishing between race, countries and religion. This could be related to the Islamic framework of international relations, which is the universalism that has been shown by Malaysia, where it promotes the togetherness spirit when the country helps and being helped. So togetherness spirit shown by Malaysian government with many countries can become a good example for other countries to see the importance which can lead to the international peace if all countries are working together in helping each other. We can see that COVID-19 does not Malaysia and other countries from helping, and this can build the good relation between Malaysia and other countries. That can be the proof of Malaysia's strength.
Meanwhile, for me, I think that if the travel ban is to be connected with the Islamic framework of international relation, it would be the egalitarianism, as the travel ban was for all nations, whereby there were no discrimination or any special treatment were given to anybody. Through this, justice were able to be exercised as there exists fairness in the administration. Diplomacy can still be run as, for example, Malaysia still keeps a good relationship with China. This shows that Malaysia practiced universalism whereby China is regarded equally and judged by their personal best and not by their disadvantages. Closing the border as a safety precaution can be related to one of the principles of peace and cooperation, as it is settled through peaceful means without using aggression to achieve an agreement. However, the MCO was against the Islamic framework because it does not cater to the openness of the criteria whereby Malaysians' movement were restricted to only their houses, robbing the freedom of the citizens to roam around. Albeit that, MCO respectfully enhances the universalism of international relation, as there are some shared moments with other countries such as the Dalgona trend that swept all across the world without narrowing it only to certain races or ethnicity.
Wow, we do get quite an information and very well explained point. As the time is running out, I would like to thank you guys so much for joining us on the show, as well as the lovely guests for being here to tell your view on this topic, which I really appreciate. Thank you everyone, and I will see you very soon. Bye.